Daughter told her father that her stepmother had hurt her, but the father was skeptical until he went into the closet to spy on them. He couldn't believe his eyes and was forced to make a heartbreaking decision. One afternoon, the golden sunlight streamed through the curtains of a small apartment, casting long shadows across the living room floor. Shaw Brown, a man in his mid-30s, sat on the couch, his eyes fixed on the television screen, flashing the day's news, yet his thoughts were far from the headlines. His mind wandered over the events of the past year, replaying them in an endless loop. Just over a year ago, he had lost Anna, his wife, and the mother of his daughter Selena, in a devastating car accident. The months that followed had been a whirlwind of grief, confusion, and struggling to adjust to his new role as a single father. Then, before he knew it, Jennifer had come into their lives. Jennifer, with her captivating smile and magnetic personality, had been a welcome distraction from the pain Shaw had met her at work, where she'd recently started as the new head of human resources. At first, their relationship was purely professional. Polite conversations in the break room turned into casual dinners, and soon enough Jennifer had moved in with them. The change seemed so fast, but Shaw believed it was for the best, filling the empty spaces in their home. A sound from the hallway pulled Sean from his thoughts. Selena, his 5-year-old daughter, stood at the entrance of the living room. Shaw immediately noticed something was wrong. Normally bright and talkative, Selena now appeared withdrawn, her shoulders hunched and her eyes downcast. Selena, Shaw's voice was soft but full of concern as he rose from the couch. "Are you all right, sweetheart?" Selena lifted her head slightly, revealing her red puffy eyes. As if she'd been crying, she bit her lower lip, a habit Shaw recognized as a sign of anxiety. "Daddy, can I talk to you?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "Of course, my love." Sean patted the cushion beside him, signaling for her to join him. Selena hesitated, shuffling her feet before slowly making her way to the couch. She sat down, leaving a noticeable distance between them, which deepened Shay's worry. "What's going on, Selena? You know you can tell me anything." Shaw tried to sound reassuring, though a growing sense of unease crept into his chest. Selena fidgeted with the hem of her dress, still avoiding her father's gaze. "Sweetie, you can trust me. Whatever it is, I'm here for you always." Shaw kept his tone gentle, even as an unsettling feeling twisted inside him. Selena took a deep breath, her small hands trembling slightly as she finally looked up at him. Her wide eyes, so much like Anna's, were filled with fear and confusion. "It's about Jennifer, Dad." Shaw felt his heart skip a beat. "What about Jennifer, honey?" he asked cautiously, trying to hide the sudden tension that tightened his chest. Selena bit her lip again, struggling to find the right words. She hurts me, Daddy." For a moment, the world seemed to freeze around Shaw, his breath caught in his throat as if someone had punched him squarely in the stomach. What do you mean she hurts you?" Selena, tears began to roll down the little girl's cheeks. "When you're not here, she gets mad at me. She yells horrible things, and sometimes she pushes me or squeezes me really hard." Sean felt his breath catch in his throat. His mind refused to process what he was hearing. Selena's voice was broken, trembling from the weight of her tears. "This isn't a game. It hurts, and it scares me. Please, you have to believe me." Shay felt his world collapsing around him. He wanted to believe it was all a misunderstanding, that his daughter was exaggerating or misreading things, but the look in Selena's eyes, the tremble in her voice, everything pointed to one undeniable truth. She was telling the truth. "Selena, sweetheart, I believe you. I believe you." Shah stretched his arms open, and Selena immediately threw herself into them, sobbing against his chest. He held her tightly, feeling tears welling up in his own eyes. "I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry." They stayed like that for several minutes, Shah rocking her gently as she cried. When the sobs finally subsided, he gently pulled back, just enough to look into her eyes. "Selena, I need you to tell me everything. When did this start?" Selena wiped her tears away with the back of her hand. "I think it was shortly after Jennifer moved in with us. At first it was just yelling, but then Shay leaned in closer." "Then what, sweetie?" "Then she started pushing me or grabbing my arm really hard when I did something she didn't like." Selena looked down, clearly ashamed. "Sometimes she pinches me when no one's watching." Sean felt the anger rising inside him, boiling over. How had he not noticed? How had he let this happen under his own roof? "Selena, why didn't you tell me sooner?" The girl shrugged, visibly uncomfortable. "I was scared," Jennifer said. "If I told you, you'd be mad at me and send me away." She said no one would believe me because she's an adult and I'm just a silly kid. Sean's heart shattered. "Oh, Selena, my love, I would never ever send you away. You are the most important thing in my life. Do you Understand that I will always believe you and I will always protect you, Selena. Nodded slowly, but Sha could still see doubt lingering in her eyes. You promise? You won't be mad at me, I promise, baby. None of this is your fault, absolutely. None of it. Sean kissed her forehead and hugged her again, holding her close. After a moment, he gently pulled back once more. Selena, I need to see if you have any marks. Can you show me where Jennifer hurt you? Selena nodded timidly and rolled up the sleeves of her dress. Sha had to stifle a gasp of shock and horror. On her arms were finger-shaped bruises, some yellowing with age, others fresh and purple. Oh my God, Sha whispered, feeling bile rise in his throat. Selena, are there more bruises? Is anywhere else? The girl nodded sadly and lifted her dress just enough to reveal her legs. There were more bruises there, some in clear shapes of hands and fingers. Sean closed his eyes for a moment, fighting the surge of guilt and rage threatening to overwhelm him. When he opened them again, he met his daughter's frightened gaze. You're mad, Daddy, Selena whispered. Not at you, my love. Sha took Selena's small hands gently in his own, his expression clouded with concern. I'm angry with Jennifer for hurting you, and with myself for not noticing sooner, he said, his voice heavy with regret. It's not your fault, Daddy, Selena replied, her voice calm yet wise beyond her ears. Jennifer is a really good actress. She's always nice when you're around. Sean nodded, recalling all the times he had seen Jennifer interact with his daughter. She always seemed warm and patient. How could he have been so blind? Selena, I need you to tell me exactly what Jennifer does when I'm not here. Can you do that for me? He asked, his voice trembling slightly. Selena nodded, but Shay saw a flicker of fear cross her eyes. When you leave for work, she changes. She becomes cold. She tells me I'm a burden, that I ruined her life by moving here. Sean clenched his jaw. What else does she say, sweetheart? Selena hesitated for a moment. She says, I'm stupid, that I can't do anything right, that you don't really love me, and that's why you spend so much time at work. Her voice broke as she finished speaking, her little face scrunched in pain. Sean felt his heart break. That's not true, Selena, he said, his voice thick with emotion. I love you more than anything in this world. You are the most important thing to me, I promise. Selena nodded, but Sha could see the deep impact Jennifer's cruel words had left on his daughter's fragile spirit. Selena, is there anything else you need to tell me? Even the smallest detail matters. Selena hesitated again, her eyes darting nervously. Sometimes when you go out at night, she invites her friends over. They drink wine and talk really loud. One time I got up because I was thirsty, and Jennifer got really mad. She grabbed me by the hair and dragged me back to bed. She said if I came out again, she'd lock me in the closet all night. Sha felt a surge of anger rising inside him. How dare Jennifer treat his daughter this way? How could she be so different from the woman he thought he knew? Selena, you've been so brave telling me all this. I promise I'm going to fix this. Jennifer will never hurt you again. Never. Selena's eyes filled with a mixture of hope and fear. Really, Daddy? She whispered, her voice trembling. Shay pulled her close, hugging her tightly. He could feel her small body shaking against his chest. Things are going to change, sweetheart, I swear, he said, trying to sound as reassuring as possible. Just then the sound of a key turning in the front door made them both freeze. Selena clung to her father, her voice barely a whisper. It's Jennifer. Sean gently pulled away, looking into his daughter's eyes. Don't worry, honey, I won't let her hurt you. Stay here, okay? Selena's wide frightened eyes were glued to the door of the living room. Sha stood up just as Jennifer walked into the room. Hey everyone. Jennifer's cheerful voice filled the air, her arms weighed down by grocery bags in one hand and her purse in the other. Her smile faded slightly when she saw the serious look on Sean's face. Is something wrong? Sean gazed at Jennifer, the woman he thought he knew, the woman he had welcomed into his home and his daughter's life. Now he looked at her with fresh eyes, searching for the cruelty that Selena had described. We need to talk, Jennifer. Shay said, his voice steady but firm. Jennifer frowned, setting the bags on the floor. Sure, what's going on? Shay glanced over at Selena, who remained on the couch, watching the scene with scared, uncertain eyes. Sweetheart, why don't you go to your room for a little while? Daddy needs to speak with Jennifer alone. Selena hesitated, worry flashing across her face, but she slowly nodded. She got up from the couch and walked toward the door, careful to avoid brushing against Jennifer. As she passed once Selena disappeared down the hall, Sean turned back to Jennifer. Her smile had vanished, completely replaced by a look of unease. Sha, you're scaring me. What's going on? Sha took a deep breath, struggling to keep his composure. Selena has told me some things, Jennifer, things that have me really Concerned Jennifer blinked, her expression shifting quickly from confusion to something Shay couldn't quite read. Was it guilt, fear, or simply surprise? What things, Shay? What are you talking about? Jennifer's voice was steady, but Sean detected a slight tremor in it. He crossed his arms over his chest, trying to maintain control. Selena says you hurt her when I'm not around, that you scream at her, push her, and have even threatened her. Jennifer let out a nervous laugh, her eyes darting anxiously around the room. What, Shay? That's ridiculous. You know how much I love Selena. I would never do something like that. Shay's voice dropped low and dangerous. I've seen the bruises. Jennifer, on her arms, on her legs. How do you explain that? The color drained from Jennifer's face. Well, you know how kids are. They're always playing, always getting hurt. She probably got them at school or on the playground. Shah shook his head, feeling the anger rising in him. Some of those bruises are shaped like fingers, Jennifer. And Selena was very clear about who gave them to her. Jennifer took a step back, as if Shay's words had struck her physically. Her expression changed, the confusion giving way to something colder, harder. And you believe her? Jennifer's voice was sharp. Now you're going to believe in 5-year-old over me, Shah? Think about everything we've been through together. Do you really think I'm capable of something like that? Sean ran a hand through his hair. Frustrated, I don't want to believe it, but Jennifer scoffed in disbelief. Oh, come on, kids lie all the time, especially when they want attention. Don't you see what's happening here? Selena's jealous. She doesn't want to share you with me, so she's making up stories to keep us apart. For a moment, Sean felt doubt creep into his mind. Could it be true? Could Selena be fabricating all of this? But then he remembered the fear in his daughter's eyes, the marks on her skin, and the doubt vanished. No, Jennifer, this isn't some story Selena made up. It's too detailed, too consistent, and the bruises don't explain away anything. Jennifer raised her voice, her calm facade beginning to crumble. That girl has always been clumsy. She probably hurt herself just to get your attention. Shah stepped forward, his voice shaking with restrained anger. Are you implying my daughter is harming herself just for attention? Do you hear yourself, Jennifer? Jennifer seemed to realize she had crossed a line. She took a step back, trying to regain her composure. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. It's just, this is crazy, Shah. I love Selena like she was my own. I would never hurt her. Then explain to me why my daughter is terrified of you, Sean demanded. Explain to me why she shakes when you walk into the room. Why did she tell me you threatened to lock her in the closet if she dared leave her room when your friends come over for drinks? Jennifer visibly paled at his words. I didn't. Shay, you have to understand what? Jennifer. Shay raised his voice, unable to hold back his frustration any longer. My daughter is suffering, and she's been suffering under my own roof for months. How the hell am I supposed to understand that? Jennifer shrank under Chef fury. For a moment it seemed like she was going to say something else, but then she closed her mouth and lowered her gaze. Chad took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down. Look, Jennifer, I don't know what's going on, but something is seriously wrong here, and I need to get to the bottom of it. For now, I think it's best if you leave for a while. Jennifer's head shot up, her eyes wide. Leave? You're kicking me out? I'm asking you to give us space. Shah corrected. I need time to talk to Selena to fully understand what's been happening, and frankly, I'm not comfortable with you being here while I do that. But where am I supposed to go? Jennifer's voice was small and vulnerable now. Sean ran a hand over his face, suddenly feeling drained. You can stay with a friend or at a hotel. I'll cover the cost if that's what it takes. But I need you to go, Jennifer. His voice softened slightly. Tonight? Jennifer glanced around the room, as if searching for a way out, a way to change the situation, but when she saw the resolve in Shay's face, her shoulders slumped in defeat. Fine, she said quietly. I'll pack a few things and leave. But Sean, her voice wavered. I swear this is all a misunderstanding. I would never. Not now, Jennifer. Shay cut her off, his tone firm. Just go, please. Jennifer gave a slow nod and headed toward the bedroom they shared. Shao watched her go, feeling a swirl of emotions he couldn't quite untangle. Parts of him wanted to believe her, wanted to think this was all just a terrible mistake, but another part, the part that had seen the fear in Selena's eyes and the marks on her skin, knew that something was terribly, horribly wrong. As Jennifer packed her things, Sean made his way to Selena's room. He found his daughter sitting on the bed, clutching her favorite teddy bear puppy so tightly it looked like she might never let go. Selena's voice was barely above a whisper. What's going to happen now? Sean sat beside her, wrapping an arm around her small shoulders. Jennifer's going to leave for a while, sweetie. I need you to tell me everything that's happened so we can fix this. Selena nodded slowly, holding her Bear even closer. Are you mad at me, Daddy? No, my love, Shay reassured her, kissing the top of her head. I'm so proud of you for being brave enough to tell me the truth. I know it must have been really hard. Selena seemed to relax a little at his words, leaning against him. I was so scared you wouldn't believe me. I'll always believe you. Selena always. He hugged her tightly, silently, promising himself that he would never let anyone hurt his daughter again. A sound came from the hallway. The front door opening and closing. Jennifer was gone. Shay felt Selena tense up once more. Don't worry, sweetheart, she's not going to hurt you again, I promise. Selena nodded, but Sha could still see fear lingering in her eyes. He knew there was a long road ahead of them, wounds that needed to heal. Both physical and emotional trust would have to be rebuilt. It wouldn't be easy, but they were together, and that's what mattered. However, in the back of his mind, Sean couldn't shake the nagging questions. How had he let things get this bad? How had he not noticed what was happening sooner? And most importantly, what was he going to do now to make sure Selena was truly safe? The days following Jennifer's departure were a strange mix of relief and unease for Sean and Selena. The little girl seemed more at ease, but Sean could tell she still flinched at loud noises and glanced nervously at the door whenever the doorbell rang. One morning, while they were having breakfast, Sean decided it was time to take more decisive action. Selena, honey, he began, stirring his coffee absent-mindedly. I've been thinking a lot about everything that's happened. Selena looked up from her cereal, her big brown eyes focused intently on her father. About Jennifer? Shaw nodded. Yes, about Jennifer and everything you told me. I want you to know that I believe you completely, but what, Daddy? Selena's voice wavered slightly. Sure. Dawn took a deep breath. But I need to see for myself what's really going on to protect you better and to figure out exactly how to handle this. Selena dropped her spoon, sending a splash of milk across the table. Wait, what? You're letting Jennifer come back only for one day? Shaw quickly reassured her, seeing the fear in his daughter's eyes. I'm going to pretend to leave for work, but I'll actually hide in the house. I want to see how Jennifer acts when she thinks I'm not here. Selena looked horrified. But Dad, she'll hurt me if she thinks you're gone. Shay stood up, walked around the table, and wrapped his arms around her. I won't let her hurt you, I promise. I'll be here the whole time, watching. If she tries anything, I'll come out right away and stop her. Do you trust me? Selena leaned into her father's chest, nodding slowly. I trust you, Dad, but I'm scared. I know. Sweetheart, I'm scared too, Shah admitted softly. But we need to do this so Jennifer can never hurt you again. The next few days were spent carefully planning. Shay called Jennifer, faking regret, and asked her to come back for one day to talk things over. She agreed quickly, her voice filled with what Shay now recognized as false sweetness. The night before what Shay should come to call the big day, he and Selena sat on the couch going over the plan. One more time, remember? Selena, Shah said, his voice serious but gentle. Tomorrow morning we're going to act like it's a normal day. I'll leave for work like always, but I'll actually hide in the closet in your room. Selena nodded, clutching her stuffed bear tightly against her chest. And I'll pretend like everything is normal, even if I'm scared. Exactly, Shay confirmed, brushing her hand through her hair. I know it's hard, but you have to act as normal as possible. If Jennifer gets suspicious, the whole plan falls apart. I'll try, Dad, Selena promised. But what if she tries to hurt me before you can come out of the closet? Shay's heart tightened at her words. I'll be watching closely, honey. At the first sign of trouble, I'll be out, and don't forget, we'll have the baby monitor. If you feel in danger, just say the code word and I'll come out right away. Strawberry ice cream, Selena whispered. And no matter what happens, remember, I'm so proud of you. You're the bravest girl I know. Selena snuggled closer to her dad, finding comfort in his arms. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, my brave little girl, Shay replied, kissing the top of her head. The next morning, Sean woke before dawn, his stomach in knots with anxiety. He dressed quietly, mentally preparing for the day ahead. When he went to wake Selena, he found her already sitting up in bed, wide-eyed. Ready for today, sweetheart? Shay asked softly. Selena nodded, though Shah could see the fear in her eyes. I'm ready, Dad. They ate breakfast. Intense silence, both too nervous to engage in normal conversation. Just as Sean was washing the dishes, the doorbell rang. That must be Jennifer, Shah said, drying his hands. He knelt down in front of Selena, looking her in the eyes. Remember, act normal. I'll leave in a few minutes, but I'll be here the whole time, okay? Okay, Selena whispered, her voice trembling. Sean stood and went to the door. Jennifer stood there, a nervous smile on her face. Hi, Sean, she said softly. Thank you for giving me this chance, Shy nodded, forcing a smile. Come on in, I was just about to leave for work. Jennifer stepped inside, her eyes sweeping across the apartment, as if seeing it for the first time when she spotted Selena sitting at the kitchen table. Her smile widened. Selena, sweetheart, I've missed you so much. Selena murmured, a quiet greeting, her eyes fixed on her bowl of cereal. Shaw noticed how tense his daughter became, though Jennifer seemed oblivious. Well, I've got to go, Shaw announced, grabbing his briefcase. I'll be back tonight, and we can talk then. Okay, Jennifer nodded eagerly. Of course, have a great day at work. Sean kissed Selena on the forehead, leaning down to whisper in her ear, remember, I'll be here the whole time. With one last glance at his daughter, Sean walked out the front door, closing it quietly behind him. Sean waited in the hallway for a few moments, listening intently. He could hear Jennifer's cheerful voice as she chatted with Selena, though the exact words were unclear. Quietly, he slipped back into the apartment, using the spare key he'd stashed under the welcome mat. Moving cautiously, he made sure not to make a sound that would alert Jennifer to his presence. When he reached Selena's room, he slipped inside the closet, leaving the door slightly ajar to see and hear what unfolded. Minutes stretched into hours. Sean could hear Jennifer and Selena moving around the apartment, their voices a distant murmur. Occasionally he heard Selena laugh, but there was a strained note to it, one that Shah doubted Jennifer even noticed. It was after lunch when the mood shifted. Shah heard footsteps approaching Selena's room, and he tensed, bracing himself for whatever was coming. The door creaked open and Selena entered, with Jennifer close behind. The young girl sat on her bed, while Jennifer remained standing, blocking the exit. Well, Selena, Jennifer's voice turned cold, a chill running down Shah's spine. I think it's time you and I had a talk. Shah felt his blood freeze at the sudden change in Jennifer's tone. It was as if a mask had dropped, revealing something far more sinister beneath. Selena visibly shrank back. About what, Jennifer? Selena asked, her voice small. Jennifer stepped closer, her posture menacing. About the lies you've been telling your father. I didn't lie, Selena stammered, retreating further onto the bed until her back hit the wall. Oh, please, Jennifer sneered. Do you think I'm an idiot? I know you've been filling your father's head with stories about me. Do you think I didn't realize why he kicked me out? Selena shook her head, her eyes wide with fear. No, I just told him the truth. You were hurting me. Jennifer let out a harsh, mocking laugh. Hurting you? I haven't even started to hurt you, you stupid little girl. Sean had to fight every instinct to burst out of the closet right then and there. He needed to know how far Jennifer would go, needed undeniable proof of her cruelty, but every fiber of his being screamed at him to protect his daughter. Jennifer moved closer to Selena, her voice low and threatening. Listen closely, you little liar. You're going to tell your father that this was all a misunderstanding, that you overreacted because you were jealous. Do you understand? Selena shook her head, tears welling up in her eyes. I can't do that. It would be a lie. Jennifer's hand shot out, grabbing Selena's arm in a painful grip. The girl cried out in pain. You're hurting me, she sobbed. This is nothing compared to what I'll do if you don't do as I say, Jennifer growled, tightening her hold. Shah felt the rage building inside him, consuming him. He couldn't bear to see his daughter suffer for another second. He was about to leap from his hiding spot when Selena suddenly screamed, strawberry ice cream, strawberry ice cream. In that instant, Shay bolted out of the closet, startling Jennifer so badly that she released Selena's arm and stumbled back. What are you doing here? Jennifer stammered, her face paling in shock. Shah stepped between Jennifer and his daughter, his voice trembling with barely contained fury. I've seen and heard everything, Jennifer, every word, every threat, every time you laid a hand on my child. Jennifer seemed to deflate, her bravado vanishing in an instant. Shay, this isn't what it looks like. I was just trying to what? Shay interrupted, his voice sharp. To threaten a child, to hurt her, to force her to lie? No, Jennifer stammered, searching desperately for an excuse. I was trying to discipline her. Selena's been acting out, and enough, Shah roared, making both Jennifer and Selena flinch. I don't want to hear any more lies. I've seen who you really are, and it disgusts me. Jennifer changed tactics, tears filling her eyes. Shah, please, I love you. We can fix this. I know I've made mistakes, but I can change. Sean shook his head, his voice as cold as ice. There's nothing to fix, Jennifer. I want you out of my house right now, and if you ever come near my daughter again, I swear I'll have you arrested. Jennifer glanced from Sean to Selena, who was still sitting on the bed, clutching her teddy bear. For a moment, it looked like she was going to say something else, but then she simply turned and walked out of the room. Seconds later, the front door. slammed shut. Sean immediately turned to Selena, wrapping her in a protective Embrace, are you okay, sweetheart? Did she hurt you? Selena shook her head, sobbing into her father's chest. I'm okay, Daddy. I was so scared, but I knew you were here. Sean held her tighter, feeling tears slide down his own cheeks. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm sorry it took me so long to see it. I'm sorry I put you in this situation. Selena pulled away slightly, her eyes filled with tears but brimming with love. As she looked at her father, it's not your fault, Daddy, you were so brave. Standing up to Jennifer, Sean managed to smile through his tears, gently stroking his daughter's hair. No, honey, you're the brave one. You've been so strong through all of this. I'm so proud of you. They stayed like that for a long while, wrapped in each other's embrace on Selena's bed, letting the weight of everything that had happened settle between them. Finally, Shah shifted and pulled back gently. How about we order some pizza for dinner, he suggested, trying to lighten the mood. I think we've earned it. A small smile tugged at the corners of Selena's lips. Can we get pepperoni with extra cheese? Anything you want, Shay replied, kissing her forehead. Let's head to the living room and place the order. As they walked toward the living room, Sean couldn't help but notice how Selena glanced nervously around, like she was expecting Jennifer to jump out from some dark corner at any moment. It's okay, sweetheart, he whispered. Jennifer is gone, and she's not coming back. We're safe now. Selena nodded, but Shah could see the tension still lingering in her small frame. They sat down on the couch, and Sean pulled out his phone to order the pizza. As he waited for someone to pick up, he noticed Selena fiddling nervously with the hem of her shirt. What's on your mind, Selena? He asked, covering the phone's mic with his hand. Selena looked up at him, her eyes clouded with worry. Daddy, what if Jennifer comes back? What if she tries to get in while we're sleeping? Shay's heart sank. He hung up the phone without even placing the order and pulled his daughter into a tight hug. Listen to me, honey, he said, his voice firm but filled with love. Jennifer isn't coming back. I promise. I'll make sure of it. And you know what, he added, how about we change the locks first thing tomorrow? Selena's eyes lit up a little. Can we do that? Absolutely, Shay nodded. I'll call a locksmith in the morning. And you know what else we'll do? Selena shook her head, curious. We'll install a security system, Shay continued, with cameras and everything. That way we can see who's at the door before we open it, and if anyone tries to get in without permission, the police will come automatically. How does that sound? Selena's eyes grew wide with amazement, like in those spy movies. Sean chuckled, relieved to see a hint of excitement on her face, exactly like in the spy movies. We'll be the best secret agents in the whole building. Selena giggled, the first real laugh Shah had heard in days. Will we have code names too? Of course, Shah said, pretending to be serious. You're absolutely right. What about Agent Brave? Selena thought for a moment, then nodded with approval. I like it. And what about me? Shah rubbed his chin, pretending to be deep in thought. How about Agent 5 Shadow? Selena burst out laughing. That's terrible, Daddy. Oh, is it now? Shah grinned and began to tickle her. You think my codename is terrible? Selena squirmed, laughing uncontrollably as she tried to escape her father's playful attack. Yes, it's the worst name ever. Sean kept up the tickling, his heart swelling with joy at the sound of her laughter. For a moment, all the fear and stress of the past few weeks seemed to melt away. Eventually, they both collapsed, breathless and teary-eyed from laughing so hard. Shay hugged Selena close, kissing the top of her head. I love you so much, my little brave agent, he murmured. I love you too, Daddy, Selena whispered back, snuggling into him. They sat there for a while, basking in the quiet comfort of each other's presence. Then the silence was broken by a loud growl from Selena's stomach. Shay laughed. Sounds like someone's hungry. Still want that pizza? Selena nodded eagerly. Yes, please. As Sean dialed the pizzeria again, Selena wandered into her room and returned with a notebook and colored pencils. What are you drawing? Shah asked after hanging up the phone. Our new security system, Selena replied seriously. We need to plan where to put the cameras and lasers. Shay raised an eyebrow. Of course, Selena nodded as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. All the best security systems have lasers. Shah smiled, deciding to play along naturally. How could I forget? But remember, the lasers have to be invisible, so the bad guys can't see them. Selena furrowed her brow, considering this new challenge. Then we'll have to use invisible ink to draw them. Shah laughed, watching her scribble away, grateful that for now at least they had found a little piece. Great idea, brave agent, Shah said with a serious tone. Tomorrow we'll go buy some invisible ink from the spy store. Selena giggled, knowing her father was joking but loving the game they were Playing, she eagerly began drawing, explaining each element of her elaborate security system. Sean watched her, amazed at his daughter's resilience. Just hours ago she had been terrified, and now she was laughing and playing. He knew the road to recovery would be long and challenging, but moments like this filled him with hope. The doorbell rang, startling them both. Selena tensed up immediately, her eyes wide with fear. "It's okay, sweetheart," Shah said softly. "It's probably just the pizza. Want to come with me to the door and see that everything's fine?" Selena nodded, gripping her father's hand tightly. Together they walked to the door. Sean peered through the peephole, then smiled at his daughter. "Take a look for yourself," he said, lifting her up so she could see. "It's just the pizza delivery guy." Selena peeked, and then exhaled in relief. Sean opened the door, paid for the pizza, and locked the door again, making sure to bolt it securely. "See, everything was fine," he said, carrying the pizza into the kitchen. "Now, how about we dig into this delicious pizza while we continue planning our super secret security system?" Selena's excitement returned. "Yeah, and we can watch a spy movie afterward to get more ideas." "Sounds like a perfect plan." Shah grinned as they ate and schemed. Shah couldn't help but feel a mix of relief and concern. He was relieved that Jennifer was no longer part of their lives, that Selena was safe, but the road ahead worried him. Fear wouldn't vanish overnight, and there would be hard days ahead. Yet, as he watched Selena smile as she animatedly described her latest plan to catch the bad guys, Shah knew they could get through anything together. They had faced something terrible, but they were stronger for it. "Closer, Dad." Selena's voice suddenly broke through his thoughts. "Thanks for believing me and for keeping me safe." Sean felt a lump form in his throat. "Always, my love. I'll always believe you. And I'll always protect you. We're a team, remember?" Selena smiled and held out her fist. "The best team." Shah bumped his fist against hers. "The best team in the world," he echoed as they finished their meal and prepared to watch their movie. Sean silently promised himself he would do whatever it took to help Selena heal from this trauma. He knew it wouldn't be easy, that there would be good days and bad days, but he was determined to be there for his daughter every step of the way. The night settled over the city, and in a small apartment, a father and his daughter snuggled on the couch, laughing at the antics of spies on the screen, feeling safe and loved. And while the future remained uncertain in that moment, everything in their world felt right. The first rays of sunlight were just beginning to peek over the horizon when Shay woke up with a start. For a moment he felt disoriented, the events of the previous day blending with restless. Asked, "Do you need me to call the police?" Sean shook his head. "Thank you, but I think she's gone now." "We appreciate your concern." The manager nodded, though he still looked at them with some unease. "If you need anything at all, just let me know." "Thank you," Shay replied, grateful for the man's kindness. They paid for their groceries quickly and stepped out of the store. Sean kept Selena close, constantly scanning their surroundings in case he spotted Jennifer. "Daddy," Selena asked softly as they walked home, "do you think Jennifer will come back to bother us?" Shah sighed, not wanting to lie to his daughter, but he also didn't want to scare her any more than she already was. "I don't know, sweetheart, but I promise you I'll do everything I can to keep us safe, and remember, we've got our super secret spy gear now." Selena's face lit up with a small smile. "Right, and soon we'll have new locks and the security system." "Exactly," Shah nodded. "No one's getting into our secret fortress without our say." So they arrived home, and Shah immediately locked the door behind them. Selena ran off to her room to put away her new spy gear, while Sean sank into the couch, emotionally and physically exhausted. The encounter with Jennifer had shaken him more than he wanted to admit. Her veiled threat to expose his decision to use Selena as bait haunted him. Had he made the right choice? Had he unnecessarily put his daughter in danger? "Daddy," Selena's voice pulled him out of his thoughts. "Can we try out the walkie-talkies?" Shah forced a smile. "Of course, brave agent. Let's see what those gadgets can do." For the next hour they played with the walkie-talkies, making up secret myths and special codes. Watching Selena laugh and enjoy herself helped Shay push his worries aside, at least for a little while. At exactly 3 the doorbell rang. Shah glanced through the peephole before opening the door. It was the locksmith. "Good afternoon," greeted the locksmith, a middle-aged man holding a toolbox. "I'm Harry from Secure Lock Solutions. Are you Mr. Shah?" Shah nodded, feeling a bit more at ease. "Yes, that's me. Thanks for coming so quickly." Harry entered and began inspecting the current lock. "Any specific preferences for the new one?" "The safest one you've got," Shay replied without hesitation, "and if possible, I'd like one that can be opened with a code as well as a key." Harry nodded, understanding the situation without needing further explanation. I've got just the thing. It's a high-security model with a digital code and backup key, nearly impossible to break into. As Harry worked, Selena watched the process with fascination. Daddy, she whispered, can I pick the code? Shay smiled. Of course, sweetheart, but it has to be something we'll both remember easily. Selena furrowed her brow and thought, how about my birthday? Perfect idea, Sean agreed. He turned to Harry. Could we use 1507 as the code? Absolutely, Harry replied as he finished installing the new lock. Now let me show you how it works. They spent the next few minutes learning how to operate the new lock. Selena was thrilled with the idea of having a secret code to enter the house. Just as Harry was packing up his tools, the doorbell rang again. Shaw immediately tensed, pulling Selena close, expecting someone else. Harry asked, noticing Shay's reaction. The security company is supposed to come at 5, Sean said, glancing at his watch, but it's only 4:30. Cautiously, Sean approached the door and peered through the people. His heart sank. It was Jennifer. Selena, Shaw said quietly but firmly, go to your room and lock the door. Okay, Selena, sensing the tension in her father's voice, nodded and hurried to her room. Shaw turned to Harry. I'm sorry, but could you stay a bit longer? I've got a complicated situation here. Understanding the seriousness, Harry nodded. Of course, sir. Would you like me to call the police? Shay considered it for a moment. Not yet, but thank you. Just stay close. With a deep breath, Sean opened the door, leaving the chain lock in place. Jennifer, he said, his voice cold. I told you not to come back. Jennifer looked disheveled, her eyes red as if she'd been crying. Shan, please, we need to talk. There's nothing to talk about, Shay responded firmly. I asked you to stay away from us. Don't you understand? I love Selena. Jennifer cried, her voice rising. I never meant to hurt her. I was under so much stress and I made mistakes, but I can change. We can fix this. Shaw felt his anger flare. Fix this? You think you can fix the fact that you terrified my daughter, that you hurt her physically and emotionally? It was a misunderstanding, Jennifer insisted, tears streaming down her face. Selena exaggerated things. You know how kids are. They make up stories sometimes. Enough, Shaw interrupted, his voice trembling with barely controlled rage. I saw the bruises on her arms. Jennifer, I heard you threaten her. There's no misunderstanding. Jennifer seemed to deflate at his words. Shay, please, I love you. I love Selena. We're a family. You can't just push me out of your life like this. We are not a family, Shay replied firmly. A family protects each other. They don't hurt or threaten one another. What you did is unforgivable. No, Jennifer cried, her voice breaking. You can't do this. You can't keep me away from Selena. At that moment, Sean heard a sound behind him. He turned to see Selena standing in the hallway, her eyes wide with fear. Selena, he said gently, I told you to stay in your room. I know, Daddy, Selena whispered, but I heard yelling, and I was scared Jennifer might hurt you. Shahar clenched at her words. His daughter, frightened for his safety, had found the courage to face her fear. Jennifer, seeing Selena, softened her tone immediately. Selena, sweetheart, do you miss me? I know things have been tough, but we can make it better. Don't you want us to be a family again? Selena looked from Jennifer to her father and back to Jennifer. Shah could see the conflict in her eyes, the desire to believe Jennifer's sweet words fighting against the fear and pain of the past month. Selena began, her voice trembling, then she seemed to gather her strength. No, I don't want you to come back. You hurt me. You scared me. Daddy believes me and he protects me. You're not my family. Jennifer stood speechless at Selena's declaration. Shah felt a surge of pride for his daughter's bravery. You heard her, Shah said, his voice steady now. For the last time, leave and don't come back. If you try to contact us again, I will call the police and show them the recording. What recording? Jennifer stammered, her face pale. The one I made yesterday, Shah said, when you hid in the closet. Every word, every threat, every time you hurt Selena. It's all there. Jennifer's eyes widened in horror. No, you can't have that. I do, Shah affirmed, and if you don't leave right now, the police will have it too. Jennifer glanced between Sean, Selena, and Harry, the locksmith, still standing silently in the background. Finally, she seemed to realize she had lost. This isn't over, she muttered, but her voice lacked conviction. Yes, it is, Shah said, closing the door firmly. He turned to Selena. I know I told you to stay in your room, but Shaich, it's okay, sweetie, Shah soothed, stroking her hair. You were very brave. I'm so proud of you. Harry cleared his throat softly. I don't think I'll be needed anymore, but thank you for staying. I really appreciate your help. Harry nodded sympathetically. No problem. If you need Anything else, don't hesitate to call. After Harry left, Sean sat on the couch with Selena still in his arms. Are you okay, sweetheart? He asked. Gently, Selena snuggled into his chest. Yeah, Daddy, I was scared, but I'm glad. Jennifer's gone. Me too, my love, Sha whispered, kissing the top of her head. Me too. They stayed like that for a while, the silence broken only by Selena's occasional sobs. Sha knew they had a long road ahead. The trauma wouldn't disappear overnight, and they would likely need professional help to heal completely, but for now, in this moment, with his daughter safe in his arms, Shay allowed himself to feel a glimmer of hope. They had faced the worst together and come out stronger. Wow, what a journey. Selena's bravery, Shah's unwavering determination to protect his daughter. It truly shows us the power of family and love in the face of fear. Together they overcame something no child should ever have to experience. But this isn't just a story of hardship, it's about resilience, about standing up for those you love, and the steps we all can take to ensure the safety of those closest to us. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments what part of the story moved you the most, or if you've ever had to stand up for someone in a tough situation. Your thoughts mean a lot to me, and I love reading your experiences. Thanks for sticking with me, and remember, no matter how difficult life gets, there's always a way forward when you face it together. I'll see you in the next video.